The forest stretched for miles at the base of the mountain, its towering trees casting long shadows across the narrow paths below. For most travelers, it was a place of uncertainty. Trails disappeared without warning, landmarks looked alike, and it was easy to become lost. But David was not most travelers. Though his beard had turned silver and his steps had slowed with age, he carried something he trusted more than his eyes, a worn brass compass that had guided him for decades. One autumn morning, a group of weary travelers gathered around him. They needed to reach a small town on the other side of the forest mountain, but none of them knew the way.
Are you sure you can lead us through?
David smiled and held up his compass. I don't have to know every tree. I only need to know the right direction. The group set out behind him. As the day wore on, the travelers grew hungry. They had brought only a small amount of food, assuming the journey would be shorter than it was. David wasn't worried. He knelt beside a patch of bushes heavy with dark berries. These are safe. My grandfather taught me to recognize them when I was a boy. Farther along the trail, he gathered edible greens and pointed out wild plants that could be cooked into a nourishing meal. That evening, beside a small fire, the travelers ate well.
How do you know all this?
David chuckled. The forest provides for those who take the time to understand it. The next morning, a thick fog rolled in. The trees vanished into a grey wall, and the travelers could barely see 20 feet ahead. Fear began to spread through the group.
What if we're walking in circles?
David looked at his compass. We're not. Without hesitation, he continued forward. Hour after hour they followed him. The fog remained, but David never wavered. While others looked at the confusion around them, he focused on the direction he knew was true. Late that afternoon, the fog finally lifted. Ahead, beyond the last line of trees, stood a small town nestled beside a clear stream. Smoke curled from chimneys. Children played near a wooden bridge. The journey was over. The travelers cheered. One of them turned to David and said,
We never would have made it without you.
David looked at the compass resting in his hand. It wasn't my strength that got us here. It was having the right direction and sticking to it. The group entered the town with grateful hearts, carrying a lesson they would never forget. Life is not about knowing every step ahead. It's about having a trustworthy guide that keeps you moving in the right direction even when the path is unclear.